Oh, what a goal! McWilliams, he's done it! He's done it! The Michigan goal in the first period for McWilliams. Run, Pelfy scores! Pelfy! It's it!
And welcome back to the podcast. As always, it's Derek Clark, aka Mini Doc. I don't even know what episode this is. I'm pretty sure it's 15. I know we've been doing this for a while, so let's keep her rolling. It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon up here near Lake Ontario. And, let's just get right into it. I'm sitting in the dorm room, got the old Go Bowling at the Glen 200 at Watkins Glen International Speedway. My home track of Watkins Glen, hosting the second round of the playoffs. Now, Joey Logano is currently in the next round of the playoffs due to winning last week, and now it's up to anybody in the tricky circuit that is Watkins Glen International. And let me tell you something, this could be an interesting one, to say the least. My prediction, I really don't have one. I really don't. And the reason I don't have a prediction per se is multiple reasons. Mostly because Watkins is a little lopsided to the people that know how to drive a road course. I'm talking drivers like Chase Elliott, drivers like McDowell, the McDowell, and then you have Shane Van Gisbergen is a great name to throw out there. He hasn't run Watkins in a cup car, I believe, and this is his first time in a cup car at Watkins. I know he's ran it in the Xfinity Series literally yesterday, but he hasn't ran it in a cup car, so gonna be a little bit of an interesting story with Shane Van Gisbergen. And he's not playoff eligible, but he still is an interesting driver to talk about. Another driver to talk about, of course, is the man, the myth, the legend, Kyle Larson. It's a name to throw out there because Kyle Larson's known for being good at any track. You pretty much go into any car at any track. So, I mean, literally, this is a different type of moment in playoffs. It's the first time ever Watkins Glen is a playoff race. Usually it's towards the end of the regular season, usually the fourth to last regular season race is Watkins Glen for the NASCAR Cup Series, but instead it's kind of shifted into this playoff race for both Xfinity and Cup. And another thing to add on to that aspect of it is Watkins is one of the tracks where you have to kind of be careful because of the uniqueness of it. It's a track with age, a track with a little bit of prestige, and all in all, it's a unique situation in Watkins Glen this afternoon. We'll see what happens later on tonight. We head in from NASCAR, an immediate jump of race cars, to another immediate jump to another form of racing. F1 Oscar freaking Piastri, my guy, gets the win in the F1 race of Azerbaijan. I'm going to be honest with you, I only watched the highlights because the race was at 6:50 a.m. local time where I am, and I am not getting up at 6:50 in the morning to watch an F1 race. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So, I didn't watch the race, but I watched the highlights, and Oscar Piastri is a freaking legend. That's the gist you can get from that. You can watch the highlights yourself. Ferrari looked great out there. Of course, McLaren looked great because Oscar freaking won the race. It was a unique situation because Lando Norris started 17th. So, I mean, it was a little bit of a unique situation in F1 this morning. I should have low-key woke up and watched it, but I didn't feel like waking up real early in the morning and everything else. But it is what it is. Right now, they're getting set for the start of the Watkins Glen race. It's been a unique weekend for me. Worked on the sports side, had a little bit of technical difficulties on the college sports side, trying to figure that out. Definitely give some stories into my later years of college. I'm only a sophomore up here. Once I've completely either get into towards the end of my college career or even graduated, I'll tell you stories. I've got a lot of stories so far as a sophomore about the craziness that I've seen within the sports world up here. But it is what it is. They're right now on the grid. I don't know. I'm kind of giving a play-by-play. I got the TV playing right now. Ty Gibbs is in the playoffs. They just showed him, and I want to talk actually about Ty Gibbs. I actually wanted to talk about Ty Gibbs, and good thing they brought it up. Okay, I wanted to talk about Ty Gibbs because Ty Gibbs is an interesting story because last week I thought Ty Gibbs was going to get the win over Joey Logano, and he didn't. But here's a crazy thing. Ty Gibbs, who, whatever you say, people say he's spoon-fed everything in life. He's been handed everything on a silver platter. Everything he's been given because of his grandpa, it's blah, blah, blah. Even though he has family ties within the team that he races for in that 54 car, I literally just have to say something right now. He's a good driver. And honestly, Ty Gibbs, I know you're not listening to this right now, but I would not be surprised if Ty Gibbs gets because he hasn't had a normal win. He hasn't won a race at all in his Cup Series career. But this playoffs, I would not be surprised if Ty Gibbs is the one that crosses the finish line first in the first round of the playoffs. One of the races in the first round. Now, once again, Shane Van Gisbergen is another guy to talk about in this NASCAR race, and I know I keep talking about it. I know it's on my TV right now while I'm recording, and I know this is another talk. But I wanted to throw Shane Van Gisbergen in the same bus of Ty Gibbs because Shane Van Gisbergen, while he's already won a few Cup races, they all came on road courses. And mostly, and he's won on an oval, but at this point, it's road course central for him, and he needs to keep going. I think he'll make the jump to Cup eventually. I think after next year, I don't see him coming next year. I actually see him staying in Xfinity and running this part-time stuff next year again. But I think in 2 years, Shane Van Gisbergen is in a Cup car, rocking that Red Bull helmet. He's a Red Bull driver, which I think is crazy. He's a Red Bull driver. Which is so unique to me. He's a Red Bull athlete, which is very unique. And so is Connor Zillage, who won the Xfinity race yesterday. Connor Zillage is crazy. His Xfinity debut. Connor Zillage gets the win. It was a unique situation there with Connor. I just love how NASCAR is evolving. It's kind of turning into F1 in the aspect of people are tuning into these races. This is a series that's getting popularity back. And then you have IndyCar on the other side of the spectrum. They're running in Detroit this weekend. I believe. Don't quote me on that. But they're running this weekend. They're a little bit of a different story. They have a smaller schedule, but everything else is about the same with them. When it comes to the aspect of trying to grow the fan base. But they've done it really well. Racing is starting to get back in that prime groove area. Now, I'm going to stop talking about motorsports because I'm big into motorsports. But I'm going to end with this. Right now, next weekend is the third and final race of the Super Motocross season. The world champion in both the 250 and 450 classes for Super Motocross will be crowned. And this weekend, Hayden Deegan won the first race at Charlotte and wins the second race in Texas. While Jet Lawrence won the first race in Charlotte, his brother Hunter in the 450s won the second 450 race in Texas this weekend. So the Lawrence brothers have both the wins so far in the 3 rounds of the World Championships. But Hayden Deegan is the name to talk about because this is the final thing I'm going to mention in the motorsports category on this podcast right now. But he's a name to mention, even if you don't watch Supercross. This kid is a freaking legend. He has a YouTube channel that's blown up. The Deegans, his sister, of course, has run NASCAR and done a lot of things. And I've literally seen this crazy aspect of about everything evolving everyone. So it's such a unique situation with Hayden. And he is such a phenomenal rider. I get to watch him every year in Unadilla. I watched him in Philadelphia when they were running Supercross there this last season. So, this is such a unique kid in the 250s. And I think he's going to stay one more year in the 250 class because he wants to win a Supercross championship. Until then, he said he doesn't want to make the jump to 450s. He wants to win a 250 Supercross championship. So we'll see what happens with Hayden Deegan. But he's the current world champion of Super Motocross. And he could be back-to-back reigning world champions in the 250 class for Super Motocross. And it's such a unique story to tell. Now, outside of the motorsports spectrum, finally, the Ducks unveiled their practice jerseys in a weird way. They showed practice. It's the rookie games, rookie challenge, which is all the rookies and like guys who don't have much NHL experience. They play in the AHL most of their career so far. Basically, they play as the Ducks, and they were playing a few games in LA, playing against a couple guys, and it was such a unique. They beat the Avalanche in overtime. It was a crazy story. But before that, they showed practice photos, and they showed the practice unis, and there was a unique conversation going on in the comments section. What happened? What seems that they have done is they kept the old number style of the old Duck jerseys, the old webbed foot main logo jerseys. The number font is on the practice jerseys, not the new number font that they created, which is for some reason sparked a wild talk in the hockey world, not just Duck fans. I'm talking literally the hockey world is talking about this for some reason. It's not a big deal to me. Just thought I'd mention it because it is just going crazy. And as a Ducks fan, to be honest, I could rather care our practice jerseys look fire, though, because we're the Ducks, and the Ducks are the best. Out of the hockey world, we go straight into the football world. The Texas Longhorns, literally as I'm recording this, 20 minutes ago, have officially passed Georgia as the number 1 team in the nation. Wow. I don't know how to feel about that. It was a unique situation. Georgia, it was so unique. They barely beat UK, which is the University of Kentucky, 13-12. Now, on the other hand, Texas, go Longhorns. The Longhorns were able to beat UTSA by a whopping final of, I believe, 58-7. Take that as much as you want, but I'm pretty sure that means they kicked some butt. So, the final scores basically determine that, and they play LA Monroe, then Mississippi State, and then they play Georgia. So it's a unique situation here because the team you just passed to be the number 1 team in the nation now, and the Texas Longhorns passed Georgia. They're going to play Georgia in a few weeks. And to keep it on top of that, Quinn Ewers is out for whoever knows how long. He has I think they said, groin strain or some strain of some injury of injuriness is the words I'll use. He's injured. That's the words to say. Once again, I don't know the specifics, but he's hurt. And he was hurting. He was grabbing his hand, but it wasn't his hand that they deemed was the injury. I don't know what's going on with Quinn. But he went out after like the first quarter, and so then Arch Manning comes out and he dominates. And it really shows the QB depth of the Longhorns. The third string quarterback of the Longhorns came out, which is Owens. Okay, Owens comes out. He's a true freshman. He's a freaking freshman. And this dude is throwing dimes. He's the third string. So the Longhorns have built depth in the QB position, which is so crazy to me, so absurd to even think about, to even fathom that the Longhorns have QB depth. And it's just insane to think that. I guess not insane. It's insane to think that it's that. I don't want to say good because, I mean, they're playing UTSA, but it was that versatile that Arch Manning came in and it felt like there wasn't a backup in there. It felt like it was just a QB being a QB, and it was. And then Owens went in there, and it's the same thing. So I don't know what you would take out of that, other than the fact that the Longhorns have definitely built something in Austin, Texas, and it might have to do with something with that all right of Matthew McConaughey. I don't know, but it's something to talk about in the world of football. Keeping on the world of football, actually, I just want to quickly talk about one thing when it comes to football. Whoever made Thursday Night Football so weirdly, like, I don't know how to word this, like, just people were hyped. People are hyped on Thursday nights. I wouldn't expect it. Thursday night football gets really hyped. Monday night football gets really hyped. Sunday night football, not that hyped. I'm going to be honest, not that hyped. It's a weird statement to say, but it's very much the truth. But yeah, keep your heads up out there in the world. Sports are amazing. Outside of the sports world, there's not much to talk about other than the fact that I'm in a dorm room in the middle of upstate New York on the side of Lake Ontario, just sitting here talking to you guys, and it wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for the people that listen to this. So thank you guys so much. I thought I would just mention that. And the world is a beautiful place. It can be hectic, it can be crazy, it can be wild, but at the end of the day, that's what we're here to do, is just talk and be grateful of people who listen. So that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, I love keeping these short. People actually told me, I've been told by multiple people that keeping these short or actually short is very nice for them, because it's just easy to plug in and listen and stuff. And for the people that listen, once again, thank you guys so much. And I know it's not a lot of you. I know I'm getting like 5 to 10 views, but 5 to 10 views in me is, hey, I got 5 to 10 people freaking listening to me, so at least people want to hear me, But in all seriousness, guys, have a good day, and remember to keep your head up, and every day's a new day, and at the end of it, just be glad you're right there in the moment. That's all I can think of. Until then, guys, it's like Forrest Gump says, life is like a box of chocolates. Just don't know which one ever you're going to get. Until then, guys, as always, Mini Doc, signing off. Peace.